I just knew, because now when I started feeling strongly about ministry, 2004, twice in 2004, I resisted that voice and it went quiet. In 2005, at the beginning of the year, the voice came again.
Go back home.
Said, go back home. But this time I felt such an urgency. I almost felt like there was danger, like something was wrong, like I'm gonna regret it. Like I can't explain it. I woke up in the night peaceful, but just a matter of urgency. And my brother Don at that time had come back home. And I just went to the office and booked a one-way ticket. Because I knew I need to do that. One-way ticket. Then I went to explain to everyone what I'm doing. But the ticket was already booked.
What?
And I was a bit of a frugal guy, so I was not going to let go of that ticket. So I knew if I buy this ticket, it's over. It is over. So the first person I went to speak to was my fiancée, my girlfriend, and I said, I'm going home. So that drama happened as it unfolded. Then I went to my mentor.
Oh, man.
And I said, Jeff, I need to go home. Yeah, that's cool. You're going. How long do you need to go for? I need to go home. And then he realizes what I'm saying and he's like, are you serious? I mean, he was upset. So I give him time to cool off. I go see my pastor. I say, my time has come. I need to go back to Kenya. He's taken aback, like, whoa. Let me pray about it. But, let me pray about it. And somehow now I've told the most important people in the States. Now I need to tell my folks.
Oh, man.
I need to come back. So first I called my buddy Don, who was here, and I said, boss, this thing has become very hard. I need to come back. So what do you think? He says, listen, it's for the people who've been away for long, who think this place is so bad. But you need, if God has put in your heart to come, just come. But I said, I'm taking a leap of faith. So I eventually packed my bags. Jeff was upset with me. He said, listen, I'm going to hold your job for a year. If you come back, then we can continue from here. We can fix anything. We'll do your paperwork. We'll do whatever you need. But you need to come back. I'm going to hold this thing for you for some time. But the day I landed at JKIA, I kid you not, I said, I'm going to reach the house, call Jeff Rigaba, and tell him I'm coming back.
So when you came alone?
I came alone.
You've left your fiancée?
I was like, I never got engaged to her.
Okay, but in your mind?
She's never forgiven me for till today. In my mind, I just was like, have I made a mistake? Did I hear God? Was that my voice? So these are my ambitions. I mean, I landed at JK like this, and I was like, big mistake.
2005 now?
Yeah, 2005, big mistake, I'm going back. I wish I could tell you that I came, I had resolve. I was like, this is not happening, I'm going back. By this time, God has not told me that I'm starting a church.
Yeah.
So I didn't say that I woke up in the US, I saw a great light, and they told me, go back to Kenya and start a church. No, I just got the sense, go back to Kenya. So
no
I'm
other
here
instruction.
now asking myself, what have I come to do here? Why? So I decided to go. My sister was working for the Serena group at that time, which is a hotel group, and I tell her I need some time to come to Amboseli and just unwind. And so she makes plans for me. With my brother Don, say we're going. I need 21 days of detox. Let me tell you, 5 days in Amboseli are long. 5 days in Amboseli are very long. By day 6, I was like, we're detoxed. Let's go back to the city.
There's only so many lions you can see.
It was like, let's go back to the city. It was when some Maasais were dancing and singing for us down there. I told Don, this woman looks a bit like Amanda. He said, bro, we need to go back to Nairobi. So we came back, and I just settled in my heart that, okay, we're gonna make this work. And went back into praying, seeking God for direction, and went back to Nairobi Baptist. My life had moved on quite a bit, so I was trying to feel the vibe. Is this where I'm supposed to be? You know, I spent some time just exploring things there. That was my home church, and I respected it. So I came back, I met the pastors. They're like, welcome back, thank you. You know, I was trying to figure out what I'm doing in the marketplace and which direction am I going to go. The best thing I knew how to do was what I was doing at Allegiance. How do I bring out something similar here? But that was just, you know, everything was just needing time. And let's build up to now settling down. I tried to find a gig here and there, you know. So I got some work at a place called Credit Reference Bureau. And initially they hired me as a senior consultant. Then eventually they made me, just within the same year, 2005, no, 2006. So anyway, so now I go to my in-laws to be, and I meet my mom, who I had met in the US a few times, but now I'm being serious with her daughter. I'm like, I want to marry your daughter. I want her to come home. Remember, I didn't have a job yet. Huh? So she just gives me a look like, you want to do what? I said, I want to bring your daughter back to Kenya. She's like, after we worked this hard to get her out of here, you want to bring her back to marry you? I'm like, yep. Jeez. Whew. Anyway, I was not very good at Swahili, and she was very good at Swahili. I mean, she's actually the one who wrote, can you believe it? My mom, my wife's mom, wrote the song Kiswahili kitukuzwe.
What?
Kwani lugha ya taifa. She's a Swahili. I mean, she used to be called upon by the state to do some Swahili, you know, translations and things. So she's very good at Swahili. So the conversation moved from English to Swahili. all I knew was just to respond. Hey, Swahili checked in, and I didn't have answers, to say the least. Mwanangu arudi mkule nini? Teni mtakula mapenzi. I don't know. I had some methalis about Omo and Tenzi and things like that, and I just said, hey, this is not gonna be a joke. So I knew, get your life together. Don't come to to someone's parents. You don't have a plan. You don't have a job. You're just coming here with your American accent saying, I want to marry your daughter. But my wife was also very, Amanda was very, very adamant. And she spoke to them and said, that's my man. I'm coming home to marry him. You know, and she put up a good fight. And so I want to tell you how we met, you and I. So I'm at Baptist, and I'm now, you know, got a little gig here. A job has come in. Amanda is getting her things together. She's coming back home. And I go to Baptist and I meet with Effie Hunja. And my friend Effie says to me, look, I feel in my heart that God is calling you to ministry. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's like, there's this thing I've been invited for, to speak at Moi Nairobi Girls, but I'm requesting them to remove my name and put your name, but I'll join you. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And so here I am, and I get my stuff together. We're invited, and I go minister at Moi Nairobi Girls. And the ministry goes very well. And guess who's handling the challenge weekend? It's the K Crew gang.
Yes.
And guess who's in the K Crew gang at that time?
Yep.
You know, A-Star, Giuliani,
The Gospel Fathers.
the Gospel Fathers, you know. So I get to meet this gang and I fall in love with them. And I'm like, wow. So we do another gig. Amanda comes home. We get married. More gigs. And that's how I started meeting you guys. And one time I tell her, I'd like to bring this entire team to our home, you know, after a school thing. And all of you came. I think everyone came over there. We overcrowded the place. We did
And we ate.
We ate. We did some swimming. We had a good time with the Gospel Fathers. All of you, A-Star, Julian.
And you've been a bit modest.
Yeah.
You literally became, the K Crew at this point was beginning a lot of high school missions.
Yes.
And you literally became the resident pastor that would go to. Because before you came, would go alone and would be the pastors.
Yes.
And then once in a while would invite a pastor too.
Yes.
But from the time you came,
Yes.
you literally, when you are available,
Yes.
and in fact, I was like, I thought this guy works.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you were literally all the time.
I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so much fun. I mean, you guys opened my eyes. So then, in December, got married in 2006. Amanda came home. We got married 2006. And that December, we went to the coast. Amanda's now pregnant. First trimester, things. We're with Don and Nancy. And I've spent some time with you guys. And I say to them, God has called me to... The reason I came home is to do ministry. And God has called me to begin a work here. And they looked at me like, what are you smoking? And my wife gave me a look, and I gave her a look. And, you know, and she's like, okay, I always suspected this would happen. So she didn't marry a pastor. Together.
Oh, yes.
She didn't marry a pastor. She married a person that she felt will always support the work of ministry. We were very good supporters.
Yep.
Where we'd put our heart that this is what we'll support, we put money, we do whatever. We always believed we'll be like
You
Kingdom
supported
Financiers.
a lot of K Crew.
Yeah, we were so happy to do that. Like buy equipment, do whatever.
Yep.
Support this thing. But, you know, starting a church, you know, are we sure we want that thing, you know? Are we sure we want that ridicule? I said, I didn't know why God pushed me to come back. But these K Crew guys have shown me what I was brought home to do.
What?
Yeah. It became very clear that this is it. And I kid you not, some of the most amazing people who have served in this church and ministry, and we'll come to that, I'm sure, I met them in high school. Pastor Pete, who you just met. Yes, Dagoretti High. He listened to me when I came with K Crew, and he's like, and he was the school captain. And he's like, who is this man? Until today, he's here. Girls we met at Cabs, Nairobi girls when they were young.
No way.
They are still here. Some of the most loyal people God gave me, I met them during those events.
In fact, your worship team became was Kiki and Sheila,
and Sheila.
Who you got from K Crew.
Exactly.
In fact, I came because I was transitioning when you started the church.
Yes.
I came and I was telling you, I'm here, and you told me you did something that no pastor has ever done before.
Yeah.
And I told you I'm here and I'm here to serve the youth.
Yes.
And you told me I'm just started this church. There are no youth, so go back to Baptist. Or go check out Mavuno.
Is that what I told you?
Yep.
What was I smoking?
Let me ask you a question. I want to come to this and then we come back to the church. Music.
Yeah.
People don't know you have a full album.
Just one.
You have but it's an album. Where was this recorded?
So when this church in America was going on, I used to lead two different groups. And I had this group then that merged into one called God's Remnant. And, you know, I'd just been big on those musicals, concerts. I wrote quite a few of them. I did quite a lot of musical. So I got this group and said, you know what? The guy said, we've done so many songs, you've written so many songs. Why don't we just take 14 of them and create an album? I said, I don't know the first thing about creating an album. I said, we know someone, we know people who can come. This amazing guy, a friend of mine called Felix, came over and in my house set up the entire studio and said, we're going to be here for a month and we're going to finish this project. And my God, the rest is history, Get the teams here. We just created this studio. He did a lot of working in my house, but he created this studio that by the time we were done, we had the whole album. And then I had the album release and amazing, even Kanji used to tell me, boss, we used to see you doing your concerts in Kenya. We're like, guy, one of these days we shall do. I just didn't follow the path for too long. I didn't.
You didn't. It was something you tried.
It's something I tried, and I know because I know myself, I'd have continued growing there. I just didn't invest time in it. Music requires anything you start is like a baby.
Yes,
it needs your attention, and I just didn't have the necessary attention span for music. For me, was for fun. It wasn't necessarily
a career path.
A career path. It was for fun. I love it till today. My worship team will tell you, this guy, he just don't bring him near you because he will, and they have a hard time because I'm one of those pastors who's like, you're off pitch. You are off pitch. You need to pray for a pastor who knows nothing about music.
It's true.
So when you sing, he's just like,
that's fine.
Any noise to the Lord is a good noise. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. But I'm very particular. I'm very particular about sound, keys, all that stuff.
And you know it.
I know it. So I know when you're lying to me.
Yes, exactly.
I know when guys are giving me a story about, what happened is, I'm like, nonsense.
Nah.
That's a lot of lies and stories. So,
Yeah.
so I because of that, I push for perfection there, which sometimes I have to catch myself and allow people to grow, because you cannot just. But it's also led us to be very deliberate and excellence in that area. And as you've seen, we've released quite a few.
Yep.
We've started now after 13, 14 years. Finally, now we are releasing songs.
And we're going to get to this.
Yeah.
I want to just let people understand just how involved you are with K-Crew.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you've talked about from the financing and helping K-Crew sort of get on its feet, from the mentorship of us young people.
Yeah.
That is even how you ended up becoming the pastor on my album.
Exactly.
Do you get the reason? It's not that I wasn't going to Baptist church. It's because we were spending so much time together that I said, in this particular song, I'm going to get you and Peter Dera.
Sana, Pastor Pete, ladies and gentlemen from the Purpose Center, my pastor, Pastor Julian.
Hey son,
what's up?
How you doing?
I'm cool.
See, I hear you and I believe God's got a plan for your life. I don't know who's listening out there, but A-Star got this thing down when he said he believes in the God he serves. See, God didn't just create you and wonder why he created you. He put you here for a purpose. He put you here for a reason. He put you here to accomplish something great, something new, something divine. I'm talking about destiny. And so this time we're gonna believe together for what God is saying. We're gonna believe together for where God is pulling us to. I wanna make this call to anybody out there that might be feeling kinda low, kinda down, kinda like.
And man, what an amazing time that was. You see, K-Crew, Jagosh and Mose, they don't know how God used them for direction. And that's why sometimes you have to understand God will speak through whoever to give you direction. Because let me tell you how God works. God's voice is like Google Maps. Sorry to compare God's voice to that, but let me just use it as an analogy. It's like Google Maps. He says to Abraham, leave the land of Ur, leave your family, leave and go to a place
I will show you. Yes.
End of story. End of story. I mean, they leave, he obeys, but his father, I say till today, his father was suspicious because he's like, what happened? I had a voice. A voice, yes. A voice came to me, told you what? Told me to leave. Leave what? Our customs, our traditions, because he was told to just go with his immediate family. But you know his father went with him. His father, his mother, his nephew Lot,
yes.
Whose father had died, and so the father used to take care of him. He's like, the father told him, we're all going. You can't just wake up. People don't study that story enough. You can't just wake up and decide you had a voice. And now you're leaving our customs, our culture, our traditions, everything. You're upping and going, I'm coming with you. So that if you've got card, at least I can be there to now sort the family. And they go to a land called, and so they live with Terah. They go to a land called Haran, where the father gets sick. And they stay there for 5 years until he dies. All this time, God has not continued to tell. Now, imagine a father asking you, has the voice come back? No. Year 1, year 2. Has the voice come back? No. Year 3, year 4. Until Terah, the father, dies.
Oh, my God.
It's when they get up again and go. And when his feet touch the land, is when God says, Abraham, this is the land I will give you. Did you see that?
That's insane.
He hadn't been ever told that I'll give you the land. This is the land I'll give you. Like, I'm being given. I thought you're just going to show me. Now I'm being given. But guess what? From the time God spoke 5 years ago until now, he had not spoken again. So God tells Julian, get up, go back to Kenya. Until I land here, meet these mad Kekru people. That is when God uses them to say, this is where you're going to do ministry. I will use you as my servant in Kenya to do 1, 2, 3. The clarity comes. You know how Google is like, in 500 meters, turn left. If you stop your car there, Google will never talk again.
Oh.
It's not going to say, excuse me, you're not moving. I said,
in 500 meters.
In 500 meters, it's quiet until you approach. The moment you hit a certain trigger, the voice comes again.
You can't even apologize for using Google Maps. That's such a good analogy.
Yes, that's how God works, and that's how people end up not hearing.
People must have thought you were mad.
People thought I was not. Yes.
Even you must have thought you were mad. You questioned, did I hear God?
Self-doubted every day and wondering, am I doing? But something in me just knew this is the right thing to do, Julian. Keep going. And one thing after another, the job, the church starts, the marriage, the job starts, God starts to bless us, children, and man, the rest is history. But K-Crew, you guys thought that I was helping you, but you were helping me. Yeah, I'm telling you. People like Giuliani, I'd like to sit down with all of you and just say, thank you guys. Because of you, I got clarity. And I hope because of me, you got clarity. And that's the kingdom of God. It's symbiotic.
That's insane.
As you get helped, like Moses, as you get helped, I get helped. And my help in you does not deplete me of any resources.
And I am proof that I got help of you.
Yes.
That's you could have easily told me, no, just stay here and let the kids grow.
Yeah.
Until they become a certain age, because they were young kids in the church. There was no teens.
We are not teens.
And I was very specific. I wanted the teens.
Yes.
So you told me, no, just go back to, and I'd left Baptist.
Wow.
So you told me, no, go back. And it was in the going back that I had go to Mavuno. And that changed my life.
My goodness.
So now when I'm hearing your story, what do you mean we were helping you? Like, I was getting a bus fare. Like, is Julian coming today? Because
things are thick.
We need the faith that will get transport. And so you don't understand the time that you came into K-Crew. K-Crew was also doing the same thing. They were also obeying instructions.
Wow.
Go to this high school. How are we going to go, Mose? We don't know. We just meet in town and we go.
That's amazing.
So that's...
Yeah, you guys had mad faith. I mean, I sat and said, what am I doing? Look at these guys. These are mad people. These guys are crazy. And you just have faith. I remember we got kicked out of Starehe together. Were you there for that one where we were kicked out? I think they were like, this noise is not coming to Starehe. But eventually they let us in. And we ministered and people got saved. And what was amazing is how many people used to give their lives to Christ through that ministry. So it's just, thinking about it makes me teary, but it's beautiful.
Okay, so I want to touch on thing that we go back into because now this is the beginning of Purpose Center.
Yeah.
We'll even talk about the name and all of this, but I want to understand. You said there's a job that you got.
Yes. So when I came, I did some interviews.